Ozonics, Killerwinds podcast back again. I'm Cole Tanner.
I'm Nick Simon.
We actually are starting this one again because we messed something up.
Yep.
And so here we are.
Yep.
We're only a few minutes in, so we're just starting it again.
Yep. Not a big deal.
And listen, hey, unless you got a time machine, you're not even going to know.
No,
Unless
exactly.
you rewind it back.
Yeah, exactly. This is nothing.
And this is a recording, so you can't rewind or time machine a recording.
We've been in a lot worse situations. Like I go.
This isn't the multiverse.
Like I go at dump footage and realize that one camera wasn't recording the entire time. So we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Hey, we got it under control. Yeah. Listen, we almost know what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like when I used to guide a guy. An old guy once told me, he said, listen, when you're guiding, he goes, there's a couple rules you live by. He goes, you're never lost, you're never scared. And I was like, he goes, if you're with a guy and he says, do you know where you're going? Yep, totally know.
Yeah.
If you get in a real sketchy situation, he looks at you, just act like you're not scared. I'm like, what about if I am scared? What about if I am lost?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, so today we are talking about what?
We are going to talk about some goals that we have for the 2024 bow season.
Yep, it's getting to be right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting to be late summer, starting to get bucks on camera, and I think this time of year, everybody starts to, I think this is what we all do. We all think way ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think when you get bucks on trail camera, you instantly go to you fast forward to the end of the season or the part of the season when you hopefully have them in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
You're high-fiving the buddies. When he steps out in the field, a lot of times that can happen too. You start to get way ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
Right.
This time of year, it's okay to do a little daydreaming, but it's also good to start thinking about what your goals are for the season.
Yeah.
Hey, what do I want to try to do? Right? What's the main goal? I think if you really understand what your goal is, it can really also help you decide, what you're doing, when you're going to be out there, how often you're going to be out there. For some people, their goals, they might have a goal that they had from last year, maybe a buck that they passed,
right?
And maybe they put in more food plots, or they had an opportunity to buy a piece of ground, or get permission on another piece that they could really try to kind of set this piece up for what they're trying to do.
Yep.
For us, I feel like our goals, it's about this time of year.
Yeah.
There's a couple bucks that are still on the hit list from last year, but we haven't seen them on the hoof yet either.
Yeah. No
trail cam pick.
Yeah.
But we are starting to see bucks on trail cam that we're going, okay.
Yeah.
You're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Hello.
It's been a pretty good start to the summer, I'd say.
I'd say too.
Trail camera wise. It's funny though, because, some public spots been nothing but crickets, but then our private spots have just been on fire.
Well, it's an every other year thing, like I've talked about before on this one permission piece. It's either beans or corn, and this year's a beans year.
Yeah.
And the fields around here, the corn has really blown up.
Oh, man.
It's been blown up for a couple weeks.
Yep.
But beans, everything felt a little behind.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people don't understand, you think, and I just actually learned this too. You think about beans, you're like, wow, man, we've had all this rain. But what beans need is heat.
Yeah.
They need heat.
Yeah.
They want the heat. It's not like they can't be a drought.
Yeah.
But we've had a ton of water, but they need heat.
Yeah.
Well, now we've had that heat.
We've had it.
And you've
Big
just
time.
seen it in the last couple weeks. Everything where you could still see down the rows pretty good, and it was like a knee high.
Yep.
Now we're getting to be where they're knee to
getting
waist
up
high.
there. Yep.
They're starting to get really tall. Everything's really blooming out.
Yep.
Canopying out, I guess you could say, even for a bean field. I'll tell you what, you go walk through a bean field in the middle of the day, and it can be 90 degrees and not a cloud in the sky, and you walk through that bean field and your pants are going to be wet.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's crazy
Yeah,
how
they
much
hold a lot of moisture.
Yeah, how much moisture it holds.
Yeah.
But everything's been blowing up, and I feel like in that bottom field, what we're talking about, man, in the last week or two, when those beans have just, the leaves are really, everything's just really in its full glory, the deer have caught on to that.
Oh man, they really
and
have.
they are out there just baling hay out there.
Yep. Yeah,
on that bean field.
It's funny too, like the public spots, they're really slow right now, but I haven't had a ounce of worry yet about them.
No, I mean,
not one bit.
Yeah, I mean, public spots, especially for the fact that we're not hunting public spots that have got fields, bean fields or cornfields on them.
Yeah.
And you're trying to fight tall grass and everything else. And on public, obviously, you have to be respectful of what the law says and not trimming and cutting
Exactly.
and da. So it's not like we can go out there. Like when I do on the private spots, I have just a little clipper that I bring along, like a hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
And we've done it before with a weed whip.
Yeah.
It has like a metal blade. You go out there and you can just make a nice spot so you can see. But we can't do that on public. So you're just kind of at the mercy of, do you try to set them higher and point them down and da. And the public spots are slow this time of year.
Yeah.
But we do have one public spot that is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It works out really good.
No wind trips.
Yep. No
it's
wind
just
trips.
A spot where they are going to mosey by.
Yeah, it's a really good spot. And had some deer walk through there. Nothing crazy yet, but there was a nice, decent buck in there the other night. But
it'd just be a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it is with all those public spots. It's just they'll show up, I think.
So so like you said, this time of year you're starting to see all these bucks on camera just like we are, and goals start to take shape. Things that you want to have and you want for the season start to take shape.
Yep.
So I think we're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to talk about your attitude and perspective as the season goes on, and your goal is either attained or your goal gets farther away.
Right.
And how you react and your attitude towards that, because I think it's funny how, like, in this part of the year, everybody's super, super excited, and you're just like, oh man, the upcoming season. Then you hear some people by the middle of the year, they're just like, forget this, I'm done. You know, because the buck that they're after got shot by the neighbor, or they see it got hit on the road, or they just can't get it on camera, or just something went wrong, they missed it, they wounded it, Right. The things and the things that can happen, they just add up. And all of a sudden you're just like, I hate this. You know, when it's just something that you're extremely passionate about.
Right.
And so we're going to talk about that too. Okay, so what are your goals?
So it's actually really funny. I just thought of like 6 more.
The first time we did this, he had one main goal and a secondary goal, but now you have one main goal and 5 extra or 6 extra goals.
No, not about 5, but
let's start. Let's just rip into them.
Okay, so my first one, overarching goal, I'm gonna play the selfish card on this one. This has been my goal since the last deer I shot in October 23rd, 2021 was the last deer I shot. And since then, my goal has been to shoot a deer over 130. My biggest is like a 126, I think. And so I really want to crack over that 130 really bad. Kind of selfish of me, but whatever. Okay, so the next one is from a filming standpoint, just try and learn every day and just become a better videographer. Just kind of keep honing in on my skills on that stuff. And then Zip and Benny were lucky enough to draw a late muzzleloader tag this year.
Little non-res tag.
Non-resident tag. So
late muzzy.
Late muzz. I think that would be really, really cool to
see them on one.
Try to get them an Iowa buck. Or really an Iowa deer, anything. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. We've been hanging some trail cameras around and working with that. So obviously that'd be a pretty big goal to achieve. Get them a deer, non-resident. So that'd be sweet.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, I really need to try and be more organized throughout the year.
Yeah. I haven't really called you this nickname as much. And I found out through the grapevine that some people listening to the pod think I really, really nag on you. I think it's all in good fun. But some people find it hard to listen to, from what I understand. So I'm trying to be more positive. I keep the hazing off the pod.
Off air.
But to just revert back to the way it was before, I was made aware that I'm really mean to you, I guess. Is that you do have a little hot messness in you.
I do.
And I thought I was only to notice it, but I got a chance to meet your mom and dad, and your dad was like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, he kind of gets to be like hot mess. Your dad's like, oh, believe me, I raised him, I know. And your hot messness kind of like heats up and cools down.
Yeah, it gets really bad during any season. That's in.
In your defense, to try to, I'm trying to flip a page here. You do get a lot going on. It's one thing to just try to go hunting.
Yeah.
But then it's another thing to try to go videoing. And then if sometimes you're hunting, sometimes you're videoing, sometimes you're videoing and hunting.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're just filming, then you're hunting, and then it just gets all mixed up. And you've got gear at the office, you've got gear at your house, and you've got gear in your truck.
Yeah.
It just gets to be a tornado.
Diabetes stuff.
Oh, yeah. And type 1 diabetes gear, sensors, and prickly things. And then what are those one things called? Your little goopy things?
Oh,
Transcends and
yeah.
nerd clusters and all sorts of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. It's like this tornado of just
basically put all
just
that
constant motion.
all that stuff together, and then just a bomb goes off. That's what it's like.
Oh, last fall got to the point where you wouldn't even let me come over and hang out in your apartment.
Nope, never. Yeah, like we'd get done with the hunt. Like, can I stop over and check out that footage? No, I'm just gonna have to wait till we're in the office.
You're like, no one's allowed in my apartment. And then when I finally said, I'm coming over, I don't care what you say, you still wouldn't let me, and you made me. Yeah, like it was like a set day, so you'd have time to clean it up. Just clean it up a little bit day by day.
It looks way better right now.
Okay.
My room is still kind of bad, just because I've been going home a lot.
Yeah.
And so the laundry situation is not close to ideal, but everything else is pretty cleaned up. My living room's good and kitchen's good.
But it is hard to stay organized. I'm no different, right? It's like you've got it all in your truck when you're done hunting, or it's in your bag, and then you're like, well, I could drag it all back inside.
Yeah. Just to drag it right back out again.
And then I'm just going to drag it right back out again. Might as well just leave it in here. But then you're like, oh, well, now we were sitting in that stand that was already set, but now we need a stand and a stick and this and that. And then I need a lifeline. Oh, okay. Oh, I got to grab that from the basement. Well, then all of a sudden it just starts to, and then I leave some stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that jacket, that sweatshirt I just put on the hook over there.
Yeah.
Well, then you just, all of a sudden it just gets all spread out.
Oh, yeah.
My truck got really bad last fall.
Yeah.
I usually can pick up all the kids, put them in the back seat. Then I could only put like one in the front seat, two in the back seat. Then it was like none of them in the back seat, and then it was only one in the front seat. Then I knew it was time to start.
Yeah, my truck is not a seasonal dirty; it's just a year-round dirty. But again, it's just I drive a lot back and forth from Wisconsin and stuff, and it just piles up in there really bad.
So buck over 130. Trying to become a better videographer and learn something new every day and stay more organized. You had like 4 more you
and zip and zip.
Oh yeah, Zip and Benny. Getting Zip and Benny something.
Yep.
I feel like my goals, I'll tell you what, before the 2024 year, I wouldn't have thought that this was going to be my goal at all. And I don't know where it all of a sudden changed, but it really changed for me. And I think it was just kind of in turkey season, I think, is where I really kind of was like, I feel like this is going to be different. And I'm not sure it'll stick.
Yeah.
Or for how long, but I feel like I'm on a big kick this year to try to get other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Like turkey season.
Yeah.
I mean, I love turkey hunting and I love shooting turkeys.
Yeah.
But I only hunted for myself like
twice,
a couple times.
Maybe.
Yeah. If I was turkey hunting, I had you with me trying to get you one, or I had Jet with me, or Bo with me.
Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't go. I hunted a lot. I just made sure I had somebody with me that I was trying to get one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel like that's kind of what I feel like now I feel like that too. I feel like that actually really got solidified the other day. We went out. And, Nick trying to, he gets a little down. He gets a little hangry. He gets all worked up.
It was probably a bad blood sugar day.
Yeah. Making a mountain out of a molehill. And he's just like, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to shoot one. And I don't know this, then I don't know which, in the public spots. And he's like freaking out.
I know. It was so bad. So how it worked was after work, I ran out to a public piece. And this public piece is just really throwing me through the ringer right now.
Yeah. Well,
I've been out there a bunch and not getting anything on camera, and it's starting to get to me really bad, and I don't know why.
Because you have cameras out earlier now than you've ever had them out. Well,
in Iowa.
I mean, in Iowa, yeah. I shouldn't say ever because you just started hanging them last year. But last year you didn't put them out until like
late
October.
September.
Yeah, late September, October.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is like the public spots are throwing you through the ringer like there are a lot of people, especially in all of Iowa, it seems like, because we've had so much rain.
Yes.
The grass and the jungle that's out there right now, it is extra tall.
Oh my gosh,
Extra
it's so
tall.
bad.
So
I should throw some clips in there from.
So the spots where you're like, oh, I could ride my bike, you can't.
You
Or
can't. You can, but you
don't know where you're going.
it's really hard, and
And it's like you're sitting on the bike and the grass is over your head. Even if you're walking, it's just really, really something.
Yeah.
And it's tick heaven and everything else.
yeah, bugs have been terrible.
But you're just having a heck of a time.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like and again, sometimes you get just a skosh whiny about it.
No, I was overreacting that day, and I remember it too because I went and pulled the one camera, and then hung it up somewhere else. I just remember I was just for no reason I was angry.
And I was in a position that I couldn't really talk. What was I doing?
You were mowing your lawn.
Oh yeah. I was mowing my yard, and I was like, hey, we got off work, and I was like, I'm gonna go home and mow. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go out that. I'm like, all right. And then I was like, well, just hook up with me when you're done.
Yeah.
Like, give me a shout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be mowing my yard.
Yeah.
Well, you called me like 25, 30 minutes later, and instantly I went into straight dad mode. I mean, I'm like, because if you're calling me, you know I'm mowing, and I don't have a nice like John Deere 60-inch Decker, just like listening to my iTunes. I have a push mower that I choose not to use to self-propel. And then for a while here, I've been putting my outdoorsman pack with my 45-pound plate on it just to
extra weight.
glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
And I look like a crazy person. And I've got my hiking boots on with my socks. So I just look like a crazy person. I know I do. And all of a sudden you call me, and I'm like instantly dad mode. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, great, he's got a low. And I'm like shutting the mower off, and I'm like walking towards my truck as I'm answering the phone. And we're just like losing. I don't know what to do. I can't put these cameras out there. Grass is too tall. I can't even see where I'm going. And you were just losing it. And I was like, all right, just relax, count to 10. You know what I mean? And right away, I'm like, are you having a low? You're like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, I don't think, okay, why are you calling me then? But anyway, so we're getting way off subject here.
Yeah.
The whole point was, I kind of had this realization the other day that I think one of my goal is really based around, like it was during trick season, I really want to see other people get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really, really, and I risk Jet hearing this, but I would really like to let Jet shoot. It'd be awesome if we get him in front of a buck. If I get him to shoot a buck.
I think we could.
I really think it'd be really cool to get him to shoot a buck. It can be this guy.
Dude, the amount
It can be a Forky. It can be a Spiker. I don't care. As long as it's got antlers that are growing out of his head that he can skull cap and put in his room or take to school. I don't know if he could take to school, but just show off.
I think
He really wants one.
I think we got a good chance of that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of little bucks running around out there right now. A ton of nice bucks that good chance are going to walk out during youth season.
Exactly. So I really would love to. Really love to try to get Jet in front of a buck.
Yeah.
During youth season.
Yes.
It's just weird though, because youth is right in that window where they're out there right now.
They're losing velvet,
and as soon as they lose their velvet though, dude, they just turn to a whole different personality, and they just kind of they disappear. That's right when that happens. So we'll see though. There's still a lot of deer coming on that field.
Yeah,
and there has been in the past historically. I've hunted this for quite a few years, and they still come out in those beans later. And so, but that's goal. That's one of the goals. I think the other big goal for me is to get you a buck over 130. And I
appreciate that.
And I've decided how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take you hunting with me every time I go. And I'm just going to put you in the good spot, and I'll just go somewhere else. And it actually will, I think this will actually be better because, it'll be better for the fact that like I get nervous about you hunting by yourself with your diabetes stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just have you go with me. And you're like, well, what about if I miss? I'm like, then I'll put you in front of another one. Because there's bucks last year that I passed that you would have gladly shot.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so And I think partly that'll make it a little less stressful for you because I'll just be like, hey, this is where I think we should go.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have input.
Yeah.
And if you definitely, we disagree and you want to go somewhere else, fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like between all of our spots, we just try to go to the best one on that day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
And sometimes it is good to be in different spots, but I don't know. I think it's in what you're trying to do. I just think it's like, let me just put you where I would be.
Yeah. No.
See if we can get you in front of one.
Yeah. No, and I think too, I really love the filming aspect too, so I think it'll be a good mix too. Because I'm definitely gonna want to be up in a tree with you filming you too.
Right.
Just because.
But even that, I might do the camera stuff and make you do the hunting.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We know how I am in front of a camera. It's not good.
It's like, yeah, you're like Ricky Bobby.
It is.
But you're in front of the cameras now and you're doing just fine.
That's different. It's different.
Yeah.
Way different.
Even if you're like, hey, Nick, explain to the camera that we just got out here and we're in the tree stand. Man, that is a 10-minute ordeal.
It's really bad.
And by the end of it, you just kind of just like looking at the camera and you can't even start. It's like,
bad.
It's like microphone panic, camera panic, not
I think
even
it's
target panic.
I think it's just because you're in the tree with me. Because when I'm self filming, it's like butter.
But no, so yeah, I think my kind of goal is I'd really love to get Jet a buck, and I'd really like to get you a buck.
Yeah.
And then from there, I mean, I do feel like it's interesting because towards the beginning of this year, before turkey season even, I was like, man, I have this feeling that something good may really happen this year.
Yeah.
Something really magical could happen.
I know.
Like I really feel that. And it's weird. I don't usually, like in the last few years, I mean, I love to hunt whitetails, but I don't live and die for whitetails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It means more to me to watch Jet shoot them and watch and I think even like turkey hunting, I love turkey hunting.
Yeah.
But it really means a lot to me to watch Jet shoot them and watch you try to shoot them. Like it's really, really fun.
Yeah. No,
I get a lot of enjoyment from that.
Yeah. No, it's been really fun.
But I feel like there's something that really awesome could happen this year.
I know. I kind of have that feeling too. Knock on wood a little bit, but last year, just first year being a resident, I felt so blind with everything. Like I just was like, this is so different than what I'm used to hunting wise. Mm-hmm. And I'd filmed in Iowa and stuff, but I was never even had the thought of hunting in Iowa just because when I was Midwest Whitetail, I didn't have my residency.
Yep.
And then now last year I had just gotten it, and like it was just so different to think, okay, like, yeah, today I'm going to have a bow in my hand. But I felt like last year was really good to get a full year under my belt where I didn't carry the bow much. I just got the feel and just all that. I just feel so much more kind of confident going into this year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Kind of knowing where I'm going to go. Last year at this time, I had no clue where I was even going to hunt, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how it all squares out.
Yeah.
And like I said, if a good buck walks by when I'm hunting by myself or something, I mean, I'm not going to not shoot it.
No.
But I don't feel like in the last few years I've had this real itch to shoot a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I am still doing that depredation stuff. So there is a little, I don't want to say pressure, but there is a little bit of like an obligation, or I'm trying to go out and really
100%.
Yep. And I'm trying to hunt a little bit in a more deliberate way.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to try to, I mean, and that's the tricky part about the one permission piece is like, and we've talked about this before, inherently. So we actually just talked about this not too long ago. And you and I've talked about this before about we inherently put pressure on the pieces of ground that we hunt. Mm-hmm. And that the fact of the matter is that, when you're out there, the deer can see you, they can hear you, and they can smell you.
Yeah.
When you leave, they can't see you and they can't hear you, but they can still smell you.
Oh, yeah.
And so inherently on the one piece that I get to do the depredation hunting, I put added pressure. I try to do everything I can to be quiet, to not let them see me, but my odor stays behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even with an ozonics using it on the way in and out, it's still pressure.
Yeah.
Even if I'm eliminating the majority of it, I feel like I am, it still is there. Do you follow me? And and again, so it's not like I'm just going out there once with my ozonics, like walking in and out with it and then get out of there. I'm going in there a couple times a week in a time of year where a lot of guys are just leaving spots alone.
Maybe going and changing batteries in the camera or something.
Yep. Yeah. And so I know that that's how that is. And so I still have, I don't feel like it says, like in the years past, I'm like, man, I want to try to shoot 20. Yeah. I don't feel that as much this year. You know, I would love to harvest the deer with the tags that I've been allocated to try to do what I'm trying to do, help out this guy with the depredation stuff. And that would be great. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I don't kill all of them, it's not the end of the world either. Yeah. But I would love to.
I think you're still going to get a good number.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. But and again, like in the last few years, it's been like, it's a bow or nothing. I don't feel as much of that.
Yeah.
You know, and even like the end of last year, you know, like towards the end of the season, we had an opportunity. Zip let us borrow his muzzleloader. I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
And I for me, it's like whatever method of take it is. Yeah. I mean, I love to shoot him with my bow. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But if it's like if I don't shoot him with my bow, it isn't entirely the end of the world. Yeah. But that goal of 20 was I really want to do them all with my bow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how it all squares out. But the other thing to mention about that is you have to really be cognizant of, you know, it's great to set a goal, but you need to be cognizant of what happens when you start to face adversity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, perfect example of adversity for you last year was when you missed that deer a couple times. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You know, you get bucked off, are you going to get back on?
Yeah.
You know, if you're listening to this and you're like, you know what, my goal is to shoot, I'm like, Nick, I want to shoot a 130 plus, or I've got a 160 on camera and I've passed him last year and I know he was a 3.5 and now I know he's 4.5 and that's the deer that I want to shoot. Well, what happens if the neighbor shoots him? Mm-hmm. What happens if he gets hit by a car? What happens if he's just not there?
Yeah.
You just can't find him. You've got cams all over or whatever, and you're out there and you just never see him on the hoof. What are you going to do?
Right.
And I think for me, what that all boils down to is it boils down to adversity. But for me, I think it's all about a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Seriously, definitely. You have to have a positive attitude.
Yeah.
The glass has to be half full, not half empty. Mm-hmm. You know, I've never really been a big person, and there may be a lot of truth in it. I've heard a lot of people talk about this recently about manifest destiny and talking things into reality and into existence.
Yeah.
I do think that maybe the way I look at it is like if you do have a negative attitude, it's not a coincidence when bad things seem to happen.
Right.
But if you have a good attitude, you know what I mean? And you try to be optimistic and positive, good things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's the tendency when things go wrong, you know, you start out the season, it's like if hunting is like riding a motorcycle fast. At the beginning of the season, you have the accelerator just cranked all the way down, mm-hmm. and you're going 100 and you're just screaming, you're so excited to be out there, just ripping down the road.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like the buck that you're after gets shot, or all of a sudden you've hunted real hard in October and you can't find him and he's not on camera. And all of a sudden you're like, well, where did he go? All of a sudden you start to let off. Right. And instead of going 100, now you're obviously going 80. And then you just kind of let off a little more. And then maybe you miss one. Oh, now I'm going 50.
Yeah.
You know? And all of a sudden you're not hunting as hard because your attitude is in the total dumper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a firm believer in trying to be positive, trying to be optimistic, and trying to make a bunch of right decisions to add up or to try to stack them up towards success. Mm-hmm. Now, does that always work out? No, it doesn't.
Look at turkey season.
Dude.
I felt like we had a great attitude all year.
Exactly, dude. And you know what's funny is we had a great attitude all year. They had a record harvest.
Yeah.
But we kind of felt like we had a tough year.
Yeah, really
We
tough.
just could not get them to do what we needed them to do.
Yeah.
Or we couldn't get them in bow range.
Yeah, yeah.
Even that, like, there was multiple times where like, well, you could have killed that one with a gun, could have killed that one with a gun, could have killed that one with a gun.
Yeah.
You know, they just wouldn't pot commit. Mm-hmm. And you have to you can either use that for the good or the bad.
Right.
And if you use it for the positive, great. But if you use it for the negative, all of a sudden it can just take you down this wrong road.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're not making good decisions. you're not being positive and optimistic. You're being negative. You're looking at things the wrong way, and you're making bad decisions. And all of a sudden, success gets even farther and farther away.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I used to struggle with that really, really bad growing up. When I started hunting by myself,
Yeah.
I would get so down in the dumps and terrible attitude. And what actually really helped me was when I started filming. I found a lot of satisfaction in that, and it helped. You know, even if I just filmed a doe from 200 yards away, it felt like a really successful hunt that I got it on video and stuff. And I felt like that really, really helped me. Not to say I'm perfect anymore. It still definitely happens. I still get kind of down in the dumps, but I feel like as a whole, I've gotten a lot better at that for sure.
Yeah.
So,
and the fact of the matter is that there is, you know, if you looked at the state of Iowa or any state and you looked at success rates, the success isn't 100%. You know,
nowhere near it.
May not even be 50%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which means, let's just say it is 50%. Let's say it's even 60%.
Yeah.
Well, 6 out of 10 guys are being successful, but 4 out of the 10 aren't, or 5 out of the 10 aren't.
Right.
All of a sudden it's, you know, you were holding out in October, and then all of a sudden it's the peak of the rut, and you're just not getting them. You know what I mean, they're just not walking by. They're just not there.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like for you and I last year. We had some great encounters on that cold snap in October, but we just couldn't seem to pick the right spot.
I know.
We went here, they went there.
Yeah.
It was just sometimes the harder you work, the luckier you get. And sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's November 9th, and then it's the 15th, and then it's the week of Thanksgiving, and you haven't got your buck. And we're all doing it, right? We're all on social media, and we see all these, you know, you start seeing deer and you're like, oh man, look at that. That's awesome. That's awesome. But it can affect your own attitude.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess it's not going to happen for me. And so you just have to try to be positive. You have to, you know, like years ago, I used to love to golf. I don't golf near as much as I used to, but it was funny because I got really into golfing. And then when I started to get really into it, then you kind of realize how much you suck. You know, you just like, you get to a point where you feel like at first you just hit that, you know, you start hitting good drives and you're playing a little better golf, a little bit lower score. And then something bad happens and you're just, the whole game comes unraveled, you know? And then I was coming back from golfing and I was like really mad. And Tatum would be like, babe, if you're going to be like this, just stop doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, you come home and you've just got this terrible attitude. You're all mad, but you like golfing, right? Yeah. She's like, if you're going to come home mad, then don't do it.
Right.
And I was kind of like, because I just like kind of like waking up and smelling the coffee. I'm like, geez, there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, if you're passionate about hunting and you're passionate about being out there, it's more than just about harvesting that animal.
Yeah, definitely.
Try to find the positives in every time that you go, even if it doesn't work out. Okay, what did I learn today? What can I do differently? What can help me make that right decision the next time I go hunting? That type of stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so, yeah, like I said, just how do you handle adversity? Because that adversity will come. You know, like we were talking about this before the episode. I don't know. I don't know if there's a really great way to show it, but there's a video on social media of like Steve Carell from The Office.
Yeah.
And it's like goes through the you know,
stages of whitetail season.
Yeah, the stages of a deer hunter, season. And the first one, he's like, we're gonna have a great year. You know what I mean? And then he's just like, and then he's standing there yelling, I declare bankruptcy. And then he's like, this is the worst. You know, and then at the end of the year, he's like, I'm just gonna stop caring about calories. You know, like the worst season ever.
Yeah, it is so perfect though.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had a lot of buddies that have called me during, you know, end of archery season into late Muzz, and they're just like, I'm done hunting. Middle of October, like, I'm done. Oh, target buck got killed, whatever, I'm out. I'm done. I'm tired hunting. I'm done. And you're like, dude, it's the best time of year. Like, we all dream about those 6 weeks between mid-October and end of November for literally, 52 minus 6 weeks of the year. You know, like we just dream about it. And now you're just saying you're done. Like, because it didn't work out, because you missed him, because you wounded him, because you spooked him, because a neighbor shot him. Like, who cares, man? Like, you know, it's just a constant ebb and flow of deer moving around. You just never know, you know?
Yep.
So like I said, goals are great, but I think, you know, don't lose sight of your goal, but have perspective on if that goal has to change. because of circumstances outside of your control or from your control.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. So,
No, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
yeah.
Like I said earlier, it's been a really good start to the year already.
Yeah, it has really been.
Good.
What's funny is we talk about this off the podcast. We talk about trail cams a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We do because I tell you what, because I think we really both really enjoy them.
Yeah, definitely.
And we talk, Jet really enjoys them. You definitely enjoy them more than I do, but I enjoy that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
We actually went out. What day was that? Last Thursday night?
Where I came and got you after you mowed? Yeah, Thursday night.
Yeah, last Thursday night. We went out to one of our public spots and got a camp set up and got just absolutely carried away by mosquitoes.
Yeah, destroyed.
Yeah. But again, it's just nice being out there. Man, it's so nice being out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's funny, though, because it feels like there's still a lot of stuff that we need to do.
Oh, I know. That's like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's just so many just little things that, and it's good issues. Like we have one spot where there's so many deer that the camera will be dead within a week.
Well, that's just like even the ski hill. I got a notification that one's almost dead.
Yeah. It's like we just put batteries in.
East of the creek.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You put that in there.
It was less than a week and it was completely dead.
Completely dead.
Yeah, I think
it
had like over 1,000 pictures. The deer just go and just stand in front of it.
Yeah,
forever.
They just stand in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to see, but
yeah. No, but I have a good feeling. Like I said, knock on wood. I think I'm going to get you in front of one.
I hope so. I freaking hope it'd be so
Dude, that's
fun.
going to be seriously what I'm going to do just the whole year is every time we get a chance to go, I'm just going to go, where would I sit? I'll put you there, and then I'll just go sit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Even on spots that we only have one stand, I can just bring my climber.
Yeah.
Or I can just use the tethered and saddle it up.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It feels good too. It feels good going into the season when you like put in a bunch of work too. It feels like every week we're doing something after work.
Yep. And again, like I think somebody may be listening to this and be like, "Man, I put in a lot more work than they do," and you very well could.
Yeah, if you got a private piece that's like actually yours, and
you've got food plots,
heck yeah, and more power to you. I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, me too. Believe me, I wish I could.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. That's been a little bit of blessing in disguise. We were really adamant about maybe putting in a food plot in one of the spots.
Yeah.
For this year or for last year even.
Yeah.
And then it got super flooded.
Oh my gosh.
And that really all was underwater.
Yeah, underwater. And it's still right now. It's too wet, I think.
Oh yeah, no,
it's just
it's crazy. And even like yesterday we got a bunch of rain again. It rained to beat the band here last night.
Yeah, it rained really hard in Wisconsin too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been bizarre.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the other thing that I haven't heard much about yet that is going to start rearing its head here shortly is EHD, all of that. It's getting to be that time of year. And I tell you the one thing, I've been kind of watching on my phone and just watching posts and seeing if I hear anybody talking about it. I haven't really heard that much yet, but it's about that time.
Yeah. And I think though, the one caveat to that is I think that what we've had so far for weather is probably the best thing that we could have had following what we had last year.
Because we have a lot of good flowing water.
And
there is probably a lot of water standing around.
Yes.
But it's not like they're having to go, this is the only water I can drink in, and it's just infested.
Yeah, so I'm super interested to see what the numbers look like this year.
Yes.
Hopefully it's way better.
That would have been the one thing that I would really be interested to ask a guy like that guy Jace from the Iowa DNR is, like, does EHD and CWD, it's almost like if there was the pandemic of it spreading and killing deer.
Yeah.
Is that not as bad when we have a wetter year?
Right.
Or if that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's got to be some correlation.
You would think.
Just with less places for deer to drink, that means they're going to be more congregated to one spot where spread of disease could be easier.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I would assume that this year would tell you a lot about that.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
It'd be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
To see how that all shakes out.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's all getting to be right around the corner, like I said.
Man, it's going to be here quick.
Yeah, September's knocking on the door.
I know.
And then when you get to September, you're only a few weeks away.
Well, we just put cameras up, or Dad just put cameras up in Wisconsin last Friday. And we'll see what happens. I might be getting Wisconsin tags again. Maybe.
Oh.
So that's mid-September. So it's real close.
Youth season's mid-September.
Yeah.
That's right. That's real close too.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's been a lot of deer on camera, but no big bucks. But there's been big bucks. We've been seeing a lot, just velvet scouting around the house and stuff. But we'll see what happens there.
I just think it's funny that you always call him Dad instead of your dad. It's not my dad. It's your dad. You said it like it's everyone listening. It's their dad. It's not their dad. That's 100% a Wisconsin thing. But you did hear somebody from Iowa say that. Where were we at? And you totally like glared a hole through me when they said it.
Oh, where was that?
I don't know, but they said it. And you like looked over at me and you're like, Oh no. But all right, let's wrap it up. Like I said, set some goals. It's a good thing to do. It's like I said, it's nice to kind of, set the bar, but then also be willing and understanding if the goals change. That's all right too.
Yep. It's probably going to happen.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, best laid plans.
Yep.
All right. Another podcast in the books. Thanks for listening. I'm Cole Tanner.
I'm Nick Simon.
Hey, if you're getting out there, good luck. If you're getting out there soon, good luck. If you got a little bit to wait, it's not very far away.
See you next week.
Stay classy.